Hey everybody, Phil here once again from Cacrcraft Classics, showing off some new inventory. We've got a beautiful 1972 Chevrolet C10 shortbed two-wheel drive pickup truck here to show you. And before we get started with that video, for those of you watching one of my videos for the first time, this is Cacrcraft Classics. We're located at 321 Canton Road, Cumming, Georgia, 30040. To reach us at the shop, the number is 470-239-4977. If you'd like to reach me on my cell, again, my name is Phil. My number is 770-317-1415. Our email is carcraftclassics@gmail.com. And be sure to visit us on the web, please, at carcraftclassics.com. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's look at this beautiful truck. You know, we travel all over pretty much the Southeast for good, clean, cool, rust-free trucks. And it's not often we find one local, but that's what happened here. This is a previously locally owned truck. The owner was having some work done at a shop that we visit all the time and happened to see it. It took a little bit of work, but we convinced him to sell it. And we couldn't be happier. It's just such a beautiful truck. Super clean, super straight, very nice detailed build, and we'll get into all that as we go here. But things like the gaps down the sides, you know, between the doors and the fenders, everything is really, really clean, as you can see. The body has not a speck of rust. The blue metallic paint, it's kind of a medium blue, is gorgeous. The white paint has no flaws in the top of the cab either. We just put these wheels on it. But before we get into all that, let's take a look under the hood, as we call the jewelry box. Look what we've got here. No more cold starts. No more 7 to 10 miles to the gallon. This thing has an upgraded drivetrain in it. Let's see here. Alrighty. Get a hold of this gimbal here. Sorry about that, guys and gals. All right, so there it is. The drivetrain has been upgraded in this vehicle. We've got a 5.3 GM LS motor in here. It's a V8 connected to a 4-speed automatic overdrive transmission, the 4L60. It's got power disc brakes. It's got power steering. It's got everything you would want. It's even got vintage air, blows ice cold, super clean engine compartment, super clean install. You can see all the wirings properly in loom. Everything's not just hanging out all over the place. No rust in the inner wheel wells. The firewall's beautiful and clean. Got this little polished aluminum air intake tube here. Got a brand new aluminum radiator with electric fans. And again, this truck, being a local truck, it was also serviced locally, so all the bugs were worked out. I know the cooling system had some issues. That's why they went with the electric fans. Now she runs nice and cool. The wiring harness had some issues to address. That's been done. The brakes had a few issues to address. That's also been done. The bugs have been worked out. Music to the ears of classic car and truck builders. Collectors out there. This thing's ready just to be driven and enjoyed. You can see there's no signs of any kind of wreck in the front. Everything is pinned straight, core support. The inner fenders. No rust to see here. Those frame rails down there, nice and detailed and painted. Just beautiful under here. And you know, I wasn't always an LS guy, to be honest. I'm an old school kind of classic car hobbyist, and I really didn't warm up to the LS swap craze until recently, when I had my first one. You might remember it was a 77 Chevy C10, and that one had been LS swapped, and I drove it around a little bit, took it to lunch, took it home, And I'll tell you what, say what you want about old school, it might look better under the hood, the old V8s, but man, these things go down the road so much smoother. And then for the reasons I mentioned before, the reliability, the gas mileage, no cold starts. I mean, it is really hard to argue with these LS motors and the updated 4-speed overdrive transmissions. You get on the highway, and man, these things, they perform flawlessly, yet you're in a classic truck. You know, it feels like a new vehicle, but it's got a lot more character, of course, being a classic. So this thing, as I mentioned, the body is absolutely pin straight. Let's give you a shot down the side here. Absolutely pin straight. It's got the nice sport bumper on the rear. It's got a 12-bolt rear end also connected to that 4L60E transmission. As I always tell you in my videos, I know we've got some shadows here. It's not easy to see the driver's side, but we'll be sure in our still shots that'll be listed on our website at Cacrcraftclassics.com. We'll get nice, clear pictures of each angle of the truck. We usually shoot 50+ pictures. But for the video, just really want to catch some angles in case we miss them in the pictures too. The bed is immaculate. Painted to match in that medium blue metallic. Inner wheel wells are not all dinged up. Bed floor is perfect. No dings at all in the bed. And actually, the truck, when it came to us, it had a rubber mat. But when I saw how beautiful this bed was, I decided to take it off for the video. I do have the mat, and it can go with the truck. New rear glass. New rubber gasket around the outside. Just a gorgeous truck. So when we bought it, it really didn't need much. It just had an old ugly set of rally wheels on it. We took those off and we installed these US mag wheels. This is a staggered 20-inch setup. It's got an 8 in the front and a 10.5 in the rear. We went with a slightly smaller tire than we normally do, just because we were concerned about rubbing, and there is no rubbing issue at all. I think it's a 245/40 up front and a 275/45 in the rear. Again, it's got power disc brakes up front, drums in the rear. The entire brake system, from the pedal itself inside the cab all the way to the drums and the rotors and the discs and everything, the calipers have been gone through. All parts have been replaced that were old and needed. So it's got brand new brakes, a brand new cooling system, brand new wiring harness. The truck starts and runs flawlessly. Brand new wheel and tire combo, as I mentioned. They also did the exhaust. The exhaust is new as well. Chrome on the bumpers, perfect. That headlight over there is a little misaligned. There is one thing I mentioned, or I'm sorry, I noticed walking around the vehicle. Passenger side mirror, the glass is cracked. I'm not sure if we'll get to that. If it's an issue for any potential buyers, we can certainly take care of it, or I can leave that as a project for the new owner. These C10s are gorgeous. Everybody knows how popular the 67 to 72 models are. And this one is no exception. Just gorgeous. Vent windows, everything in good condition. Side marker lights work. Front glass is in great condition as well. It's got a small little cowl hood here, I think that's a 2-inch cowl hood. And hopefully you guys can see that paint. Again, it is a metallic, so it's got some metal flake in it. And it just looks awesome, just dancing out here in the sun. I love the front grille on the 72 models too. Got to have that blue bow tie up front. take a look inside. Gets even better in here. Doors are in great shape. Professional paint job. Cab corners are great. And we'll get her up in the air for you guys so you can take a look at it from underneath. I'm not going to crawl around on the ground. Rockers are good. The chrome sill plates in there. As you can see, it's got the houndstooth interior. Awesome truck. It's got a new gauge bezel. It's got a new set of gauges, but that's the one other thing this truck could use is somebody needs to dial in those gauges. They're not 100% accurate. Or I was even thinking about putting in, I'm not much for the gauges that have the digital readout, but Dakota Digital makes a set of gauges for this truck that is from their family of gauges called the VHX gauges. And I think they would just look great in here. You know, it's not a mechanical gauge. They're electronic gauges, but they have the old school look. If you subscribe to our channel, you've seen other trucks we've had that have had them in it, mostly the square bodies and stuff, but I'm just not much for the digital numbers. Digital readout, I should say. Take a look at these gauges here. Very cool, but I don't know, just a little bit too much of a contemporary look in a classic truck for my liking. But you know, like I said, we can install that other gauge cluster for you. Those run about $1,500, parts and labor included. Okay, let's fire this sucker up. So the engine's been tuned. The bugs have been worked out. This truck is completely road ready. Man, I love the sound of that exhaust. So responsive too. That's another thing that's a little unusual. You get in a classic truck and usually they're not quite as responsive on the throttle as the LS motors. Take a listen. So again, this is a fuel-injected V8 connected to a 4-speed overdrive transmission. So she's going to go down the road real nice and be super reliable. Give you much better gas mileage than you would with a traditional old 350 or a big block or something like that. So again, the gauges, if you like them, that's fine. If not, we can put a different set in that I think is more appropriate for the old C10s. Right there you see this truck is equipped with a Gen 4 SureFit kit vintage air system. So you've got good running AC, heat, defrost, the whole 9 yards. It's also been outfitted with a little bit more updated Pioneer 2-knob stereo. Thank God it's a 2-knob and nobody cut the dash. It drives me out of my mind. Anyway, got a nice chrome glove box cover. Our door, I'm sorry. Got a nice dash pad. It's not cracked or worn or weathered. Rubber around the doors, as you can see, is new. Newer. We didn't do it. Somebody did it on the restore. Even the interior light works. Sun visors are intact. Now, sometimes you can get these trucks and the builds aren't complete. This is just not the case with this one. Nice bow tie, carpeted floor mats. Nice blue matching floor mat or carpet kit here inside the cab. Headliner is just a metal top, appropriate for this truck and this year. Got the nice comfort grip steering wheel. Again, it's got the new gauge bezel with the chrome surround around each gauge. Super slick. Doors open and close as they should. Sometimes the doors on these trucks, as we all know, can be a little bit of a problem, but this one, that's not the case. They're adjusted properly and they open and close just fine. So there she is, 1972 C10. I've got a whole bunch of receipts for some of those repairs that were done. I mentioned to you earlier about the wiring harness, the radiator, the brake system. I've got probably 24 receipts from that local shop that did the work. That transmission also is new. It's a Jasper transmission. That was installed locally as well. Just a clean old C10. Tail lights, tailgate molding across the back. Super slick, super new and nice. These trucks can be fun to build, we all know that, but for the customer out there that doesn't have the time, patience, or maybe the expertise, and he just wants a finished, beautiful truck that he can take to shows or on Sunday cruises with his family, this is the one, man. What a beautiful truck. Paint, like I said, super slick. Bed looks like nothing's ever been back there. Top of the cab paint, everything good, no clear coat peeling or any problems like that. There's that broken mirror I mentioned to you before. Sorry about that, not sure when that happened, but like I said, I can leave that for you or I can take care of it myself. '72 Chevy C10. So again, we can help with any customization you'd like to do to the truck. Now, we're not going to rebuild it, but if you didn't like the wheels and you wanted to swap them out for something else, I'd be disappointed. You might hear me cry a little bit because these look so sweet, but we could help you with that. The gauges, as I mentioned, if you wanted to swap those out for something a little bit more old school looking, we could help with that. Financing, we've partnered with JJ Best Bank. They specialize in the classics, so you don't have problems getting financed. Good terms, good service, good interest rates, quick turnaround. Also, professional shipping is available. If you're in the United States, we can put this thing in your driveway, and if you're out of the country, we can help you with that as well. Customization, financing, and delivery is not an issue. This particular vehicle does not have a title. So I believe it was registered here in Georgia. They allow you to register these vehicles without a title, but don't let that scare you off. If you're living in a state where they do title these vehicles, we do this all the time here at Cacrcraft Classics. We can give you all the documentation you need. There's 3 forms that we basically include: a current registration, a bill of sale, and there's a letter we also include that it comes from our local tag office that explains to your DMV why there is no title. So with those 3 forms, you submit those to your tag office and they will issue you a title and a current registration and a tag. Don't worry about that. We can help you with that. If you have any questions, just give me a call. Again, my number is 770-317-1415. Now let's get down to business here. The price on this vehicle is $32,500. I know that might be a shock to some. I know these LS swap trucks can reach 40s and even $50,000, but we think that's a fair price and affordable for you hot rod guys and gals out there that have been looking for a nice clean truck. So again, the asking price is $32,500. And we're now ready to accept reasonable offers. So give me a holler, shoot me an email, get in touch with me somehow if you're interested in the truck. I'd be happy to answer any questions. When the truck arrives in your driveway, it will have a temp tag. We are a licensed dealer here in Georgia. So you will have 45 days to enjoy the truck before you'll have to go ahead and get your own tag and title, etc. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. Like I said, I'll get some still shots, the undercarriage, all different angles in the sun. We'll get that driver's side out in the bright sun so that you can see that real good. Be sure to visit us on the web again at Cacrcraftclassics.com. Click on inventory and scroll down and look at this truck. It'll probably be up tomorrow. So just take a look then. And again, if you have any questions, give me a holler. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up down below. We really appreciate it. Everyone, please be safe out there. And God bless America.